Okay, so welcome to segment two of the second annual Vendor Summit by Nelia Zone. And we're now down to our final two sessions. And this session is opening up with Monica Taylor and Shamona Wimberly, both of the SBA and SBCD. And they're going to share with us some resources that all business owners need to know. Of what all business owners need to know when it comes to business, and especially with our niche market that we have for the D9 marketplace. But this applies to any other business. So, opening up, Monica Taylor and Shamona Wimberly, both of SBA and SBCD, and the floor is now yours.
Thank you very much. Well, what I'm going to do, first of all, is to tell you a little about myself, and Shimona would tell you a little about herself. We both bring probably total over probably 30 years of banking, financial business banking experience. We both started right a little after college at the school that we attended. Somehow we followed the same pattern of jobs. We did not know this at all. We were on two different areas, parts of the United States, and we just seemed like every time we turned around, we were at the same company. So, like when I tell you this morning, we talked about networking, it's very important that you network with people because I met back up with Shimona, even though she's a friend, on a conference call. We had a SBA conference call, a whole company conference call, and I saw her name in the participants just as Shimona. And I said to myself, I bet you this is Shimona that I know in Texas. She just moved. And it was. So, like I say, it's very important to network with people and have a relationship. I bring you probably about 22 years of banking experience, being from a branch manager to a banking officer in the business banking department. And then my last position at a bank, I was over a business banking division. And then I later joined SBA working. So I have a lot of knowledge concerning businesses, and I also own a business myself. With coaching a lot of other businesses, I decided to create my own business because of a customer that I had that was struggling with their business. And I wanted to show them how you could start from the ground zero to a profitable business with working relationship with a bank. So now I'm gonna let Shimona tell you about herself.
All right. Well, greetings, everyone. I am Shimona Wembley, and Monica hit it on the head. I was telling someone else, I said, you know what? Every company, we had no idea that our paths are just exactly lining up. And as she said, the last place we met up was at the Small Business Administration with SBA. I have the same 25 years of banking experience from branch manager, working in the mortgage division, small business. And then I decided to branch out as a money coach, helping individuals with their personal and business financial goals, whether it be lending, helping them to restructure their business and getting it back in line. I am also the founder and CEO of Shakira Renee Jewelry Collection, and which is named after my daughter. So I am definitely in the spirit of entrepreneurship and making sure that we are healthy so that we can be bankable. I turn it back over to you, Monica.
Thank you, Shimona. Well, first of all, do anyone currently, if you could put in the chat, do you currently have a SBA loan or have you heard of SBA? And probably since COVID, everyone probably have heard about SBA if you were a business owner.
Yeah, I'll just say that, most of us heard about it during COVID. I told you about my cousins that don't really do the W-2 forms. They were going around trying to get, loans for folks and the PPE, whatever they call them. And I was like, okay, because you hear about it so much and it's coming from so many different people that it was hard to know what the real source of truth was. And so I just kind of distanced myself. So that's why I'm excited to hear your perspective on it. Somebody that actually worked in the bank, that worked in the industry, what that funding source could do for a small business.
Right. Well, first of all, the SBA is the Small Business Administration. And what we do is we help small businesses get funded by setting guidelines for loans and reduce risk. And the SBA backs the loans. And what we mean by that, we actually work with lenders. We have a website which is www.sba.gov. And I encourage everyone that is a business owner to visit that website. It's a lot of free information. We have information on our website where you could get funding, the type of loans when someone is talking to you, the best lender that you could find. It could match up your lending needs based on your company, where you are now. So our website again is www.sba.gov, and you could create a account to start talking to a lender. But the best thing is to do is to always establish a good personal relationship, not personal, business relationship with your bank. Because with a lot of the loans that we had during COVID, which were the PPP loans, and the COVID loans went through the SBA, you had to go through a bank for the PPP loans. So at that time, it was very important to get all your paperwork. We also show you the SBA how to legalize your business. So there's a whole section on how to create your business, how to start your business, what do you need, and it gives you every bullet point that goes in order of what you need to do. Because as we know, Shamonia and myself during COVID, I was on the front line of the COVID loans. I'll never forget. I got a telephone call, and they needed me to go to New York. And this is when we had like 25 to 30 cases. And just imagine you having to go to a place that people are getting sick. Well, they didn't send me directly into the heat of the COVID. I went up north. So a lot of business owners were calling very concerned. And once the president declared it a national disaster, and that's another department we have with SBA. We have the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster. That department actually works on the national disasters. So at any time there's a national declared disaster in your area, your business can also get funding through the Office of Disaster directly. So that is one of the limited times that you can go in and apply for a loan directly with SBA. But all the other times, you need to go through a lender. That's why it's very important to find the right lender, the right relationship to go through your journey with your business. So we do have a list of all that information. We do also partner with other agencies that we fund them money to have all these resources for you. We do work with what we call the small business development centers. We do have on our website, you could key in your zip code or your state to find that resource. They have all different type of free seminars as far as your taxes, as far as AI, any seminar that you need to probably have a resource to They could help you when there's something local in your state. Like we had a loan that was through Clayton County, and they were only giving $2,000 to business owners. But what could $2,000 do to your business to help you out? So the SBDC had a list of all these different types of funding that's in your area. So if you work closely with them, they'll be able to guide you through your whole process on anything, even if you've been in business for 6 years, 7 years. And also your banker at your bank, they'll be able to give you the same different resources. When I was over the business banking department, sometime I started customers off with what we call a micro loan because they could not come to us for a traditional loan. We had to put them through micro loans that was through a micro company or a nonprofit. So that was a company or agency that was able to build their credit, establish credit for them. And there's nothing wrong with getting a micro loan. The micro loan is one of the smaller loans, anywhere from 500 to about $50,000. Most people or companies do micro lending up to about $50,000. We do actually have through banks the 7A loans, and all of these different types of loans are on our website. We do have the 504 loan that we do offer, but it's good to partner with the SBDC. We do have a if you're ever been in the military or currently in the military, we do have what we call a Veterans Business Center that we give support to as far as funding. Please reach out to that source. And then we also have a women's business center that we support also. We also support agencies in your area called SCORE. Just feel free to look on our website for all of those different entities, and they will counsel you. They will help you through the process. If you ever had to create a business plan, we do have a business plan template. A lot of times people actually charge you thousands of dollars to write a business plan. On our website, we do have probably about 4 to 5 different templates, and they're just guides, but they give you everything that a bank would actually look for, or a nonprofit, because you don't always have to go through a bank to get a loan. There's different other entities that you could go to, and there's different technical reviewers that are out there that could sign off on your paperwork. I know in Atlanta, Georgia, we have what we call the next level BBI. I don't know if some people actually heard of that, but we do have a next level class that I think they're all over that you could attend, but there's a lot of information out there for you to take free of charge. So I just finished a course, and I think Angeline also might have gone through some of the courses for Cornell University. I applied for a grant through Cornell because we get all this information from the SBDC, and I just wanted to see what it, you know, taught me about a business. And pretty much because I was a business banker and over business department, I did learn a little. But if you were a new business, growing business, it was great. And also just the network with Cornell University, it was great because currently still they send us out information. And I'll put in the chat, each month we receive about 30, I think they have about 30 current grants that are out there. And sometimes they have over 100 grants that are currently out there. And I would tell anybody to apply. You do not have to be a grant writer. Okay, $2,000 through a SD disaster loan. A lot of people might not even know if you sell on SD. And if there's a national disaster where your business had to shut down or something, you could get a $2,000 grant that you don't have to pay back. Bank of America currently have um, a loan program out there if you want a commercial building. So there's a lot of different resources. So when you go to these places, the SBDC, or you call your local SBA office, or you network with the branch manager or the business banker, they're going to actually give you a lot of information, because my goal as as a branch manager all the way to a business department, I wanted that long-term relationship. And that's what I treasured the most when I was in banking, to have that long-term relationship. When they first started, and then maybe 15 years later, they still calling. I just had a customer on Friday to call me. They wanted to know where was the local SBDC office. And I looked it up and gave it to them. So most of the time, when you have a good banker, a good lawyer, and a good accountant, you're good. So always try to have those three people on your team. And like I said, I could never say this any stronger. Networking is just anything to add, Miss Shimona, Dr. Shimona.
No, that sounds excellent. Yep, you're absolutely right. Can I chime in regards to the COVID loans?
And the PPP, yes.
Mhm. So, as it relates to, I actually worked in the COVID department, COVID-19 loans. And so I saw a lot of applications come through for legitimate businesses. We could tell those ones that were not legitimate businesses. But it is so key, as Monica has shared, to have your business properly set up. And so that website, SBA's website, is definitely a great resource for ensuring that you have everything in place. And the reason why I wanted to interject was because before I left working with COVID files, we were in the process of looking at, well, it was time for repayment. And so if you know any individual that may have taken out a COVID-19 loan, and it has started repayment and they have not responded, or their payments may be too large, guess what? They offer hardship assistance program. So rather than you rather not you, but anyone that you know that may need to take advantage of this, I just want them to know, because people are just like putting it off to the side, and all of a sudden they're seeing their bank accounts being closed, garnished, IRS, and all these other things, because they are really proactively going after those individuals that are not paying. So reach out to them. Listen, they have hardship assistance out there available. So don't be afraid to share that information. Just don't want people to get in trouble. Okay.
See, I'm
Great
gonna have to tell
information.
my cousin
Yeah.
that I told you what you were talking about was crazy. And so it's interesting, because I think too, you on one end of the spectrum, you have people who are probably, maybe trying to potentially scam or defraud. But on the other hand, you have people who don't know they even qualify for these types of sources. I mean, so what's the best way to get the word out and let them know? Because like what you said about the Etsy, that's the first time I even heard that would even qualify for any type of assistance.
Right. And as you know, a lot of businesses, we've had so many disasters. When I say I was really tired of traveling. We've had so many, we had the water crises in Mississippi. So all those businesses in Mississippi could have applied for the government loan or the SC's loan. And that's why I said it's very important to network, because I sign up. I am a business owner too, and I sign up for everything to know information. So even if it's not for you, it could help someone else. So I tell people, I have a list of, like I said, I could pass it on and let you see it. I get a list every month of about anywhere from 30 to probably sometime 150 different grants and different programs that they actually have. And I've applied for some of the programs and actually got accepted. So just because you don't know how to write a grant, a lot of times people say, oh, I don't know how to write a grant. It's not that hard. You just have to read and make sure you follow the instructions. And most of them are promoting grants for uh, small business owners and especially women. So there's a lot of things on there that could benefit you because $2,000 here, $5,000 here, $10,000 here, that could really help a small business owner out. And you just have to apply and go through the process. I was in a fellowship not too long ago, and they told me that I had to have a 6-month commitment. And you did have to go through around 1, 2, and 3 interview for this grant and fellowship. And I did it and I got accepted. But during the second month, I just said to myself, this is too much time. This is too much. I can't, I was trying to, do a warehouse this year and get that done. I was trying to go on the Zoom calls. I was trying to do the homework that they gave us. And I just said to myself at one point, I said, oh, this is just too much for me. But and working at the same time. And I just was getting, I called the person, one of my networking friends that work in DC, that suggested that I do the program and apply for it. And she had told me, Monica, stick with it. We had just talked to Capital One about they're going to give every participant a scholarship cash award, for your business. And I'm going to tell you, that made me
Sticky.
actually stay on the path of that grant. And not to say I just did it for that, but most of the time when I do sign up for a program or a fellowship, I'm doing it for knowledge to help other people. And of course it's helping myself also. But I just want to let you know there's a lot of resources with the SBDC, the SCORE, and other institutions that you could go to, even your local county that you live in, or if you're in Louisiana, we have parishes. A lot of times we don't know the local programs that are going on. Contact your SBDC. They will know those type of programs because they network with the community. So if there's one thing I can leave with you is that there's money out there for you. It's just the will and the help. If you need the help, it's out there because the SBA backs community service for these organizations to teach and to help you with the programs. Even on our website, it tells you how to do a LLC. If you're still working as a sole proprietor, you might want to investigate what you need to do for a LLC. You don't really have to get a lawyer. A lot of people go pay a lawyer about $500 to $1,000 just to do a LLC. If you say you want to write a business plan, we actually have that link on there. Um, if you want to know what do you need to do to buy existing business or franchise, all that information is on the website. So even as something simple as how to get your licenses and your permits, a lot of time when you with Delta, I'm not going to speak for the other sororities because I am a licensed fielder with Zeta. Zeta, we have to have insurance. A lot of people with Delta might not have the insurance, and it tells you what you need to do to get insurance. So we have all this information on the website. Okay, if your computer get hacked into, if you don't have insurance, it's very important. You could get insurance if you're down for three. It has happened, I think, with someone on our site that they were hacked into, and I think they said they were down for 2 or 3 days. You could get interruption on your insurance. You could get damages. If there's a flood, it's very important that you know. And on our website, we have all that information.
Monica, can I interject? Oh,
Uh-huh.
I want to interject. You spoke about if there are disasters, right? So there were COVID-19 loans. You mentioned the 7A loan, and you touched on the disasters, right? And so I just want to share, because most people miss that opportunity with their business. Whenever there's a natural disaster, declared in your area, in your region, just like she mentioned with the water, right? It could be tornado, hurricane, snowstorm, wherever there's declared a disaster, your business, if it was affected, could benefit from the different services or loans that they have, and they're easy, very easy to qualify. I think the minimum credit score, personal. I can't even remember if you needed a minimum credit score. I think that was on COVID. Um, I can't remember that exactly. Um, but if it was like a 500 credit score on the personal. And the business side, just making sure that you had a legitimate business, and your loan was 2%, a 2% loan on a natural disaster. And so just knowing, a lot of times we, because we don't know that we can actually take that out. And then for homeowners, remember, Monica, if you were a homeowner and there was a natural disaster, maybe you didn't have homeowners insurance, maybe your homeowners insurance said that they weren't going to cover the damages, you can apply through SBA. So that was the area that I worked in. I did underwriting in that particular department. So even for your home, whether you had a business or not, there were personal side and business. So just wanted to share that.
Wow. Did you say 2% loan, business
Yeah.
loan? Like
They
like
were
one, two?
it depends. It depends on what the market is at that time, and they're always under. The home loan was normally around about 1.75, and the business was about 2 to about 3. 2 to about 3. I never, in this whole time, I haven't seen over 4%. And anything under $25,000 is just like a signature loan. I tell people sometimes that $25,000 with no documentation, but certain.
Come on.
I'm just being honest. That $25,000 was looking good, but that's why you still have to be legal. You still have to have a legal entity. Based on your credit, sometimes you didn't even have to produce the tax returns because we pulled them electronically. And based on people credit, I've seen people get the loan approved, right, not right away, but within a couple of days, because it is a national disaster. Um, but at the same time, it is the easiest loan to get during a disaster. So that's the only time you could come directly to the SBA. And also, a lot of people have their businesses in their home. So they have to remember that when they're saying that they have a business and a home, they need to make sure, hey, I have 400 square feet of my business, of my home as a business. So you could do a home and a business. Even though your roof might have been torn up, a percentage of that maybe was for your business. So there's a lot and proper paperwork. And just if you don't know how to fill out the application, I promise you it's simple. But when you want more than $25,000, you do need to produce tax returns. Some people you don't always have to have the current tax returns, but you do need the last 2 or 3 before there. And if you're a new business, um, they ask you for your projections, they ask you for a write up on the business. There's different things, and sometimes they don't ask you for nothing because you know it's based on certain
Mhm.
criteria that they look at. So even when they give you a denial the first time, guess what? Appeal that denial, because we're here to help you in those situations. When there's a disaster loan, we're not here to hurt you or deny you. We want to put you in this situation to get the loan. I stayed in Jackson, Mississippi. Shimon, I don't even remember. I think I stayed in Jackson, Mississippi, maybe 4 to 5 months for the water crises. And that was a matter of educating the business owners, helping them physically with their paperwork. Literally, we had to write letters with them to explain their cases, because a business owner, most of the time they say, oh, I just cook the food, or or I just run the business, I really don't know anything. We literally had to write letters to explain, hey, I didn't pay my student loans for 4 years because of this. You know what? I changed jobs. My income is normally this and that. It changed. I no longer work and have my business now. And this is the reason. I've seen loans be appealed and approved based on explaining to the underwriter what is actually going on. Because if we just look at certain things of how you filled out the application, you didn't explain something, and we do need to know what is the impact. You need to know that, hey, with this impact of this storm, people aren't coming into buying paraphernalia. They're not coming into a brick and mortar because of COVID or certain things. So you have to appeal. I've seen people appeal alone 2 and 3 times, and it's been approved. It's just making sure you have the right word and the right paperwork to present to them.
I was going to ask a question. How close do you need to be to this natural disaster in order to qualify for that?
Uh, you okay, when there is a national disaster, they have what we call a map. They map it out. You don't have to be in that disaster area, but if you're in the surrounding areas, and sometimes like North Carolina and South Carolina, it's close to it, because sometimes people from North Carolina of a certain county, they travel over to South Carolina for business or for different things. So we always tell you a perimeter, and it's normally a big perimeter, because the impact of your business is just not in the area that you have your business. It could be the surrounding areas.
Yeah, because you can get it, you can be impacted by something that's happening somewhere else. And the second question I have, and I'm sure everybody on this call is wondering, when you were in Jackson, Mississippi for the water crisis, what did you drink?
Actually, we drank bottled water, and I stayed outside. I hate to say it, but we didn't stay in Jackson because of the water crises, and I hate to say that sometimes, but I did try to support the businesses, and most of them did use bottled water and things of that nature for their businesses. So I did support businesses by eating, bringing my money to them, so that they can have somebody doing lunch hour or buying this. I did try to support them then, but we put in a lot of money in SBA to those help anyone during a disaster. So if you have a good person that's talking to you, I try to find a way to make sure the application is approved, because I know how they feel, because I've been through some disasters before, several, and when you're going through that moment and your income go down as a business owner, you don't know what to do. So there's resources. The county kicks in, the parish kicks in. So just make sure you network with the, always, even if you don't need anything like now, I'm always talking to the SBDC. I'm always talking to somebody in some division. So at DC, at the White, some of my coworkers that were in DC, they were the one that told me about the grant. They knew I was a business owner, and they said, Monica, this is a great opportunity because it's for women. You need to apply. I promise you, the key of anything you do is the network. And I truly could say that because some of the things that have happened to me these past 2 years, it was because of networking.
Well,
And I
that is awesome, and a lot of it is just awareness, and it is the networking, and you never know if you don't inquire. So we appreciate you. Now, there are a couple of links that I dropped in the chat based on what you were sharing with us. So we got the link to the SBA.gov. We got the link to the business plan templates. We got the links to some of the grants that were available, and then also how to find your business, identify what business structure you need, whether it's LLC, S corp, or whatever. So feel free to check out those links, save them, copy them, bookmark them, because if you don't need it today, you may need it next week. You never know.
And then the last thing that I wanted to go over, because we serve in different capacities, Shamona wants to share some items with you concerning another company that is used as a resource. Does she have?
Okay. Okay. All right. Greetings, everyone. Again, I just wanted to share earlier, Monica, when she introduced me and also stated that I own a second business, which is the Success Strategist Institute. And through that entity, we actually sit down and walk businesses through this, how they can prepare, or as I used the word before, become bankable. And so we call that Business Credit 101. And a lot of businesses will most of the times think that they've heard the information and that they have the things that they need. One of the things, even for myself, they said you need a business location. So I went on iPostal. Well, guess what? I learned that iPostal does not qualify, that I actually needed a business. And I should have known that as a business banker. When I worked in the bank, we actually had to physically at TD Bank go out and every business account that we opened, we had to go out to the address that the business provided. If it was a US, like one of those postal mailbox where everybody has a mailbox, guess what? We had to notify the business that we had to close their account because it wasn't a physical entity. However, I know you heard of Regis, you heard of different co-working spaces like that offer mailbox services. So with this company, we have partnered up with New Day Financial. The Success Strategist partnered up with New Day Financial, and the owner there, as well as myself, we actually do seminars where we spend 3 hours helping businesses from start to finish, making sure that they are ready to go. And so with business credit, there are different tiers. There's a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And so, like, literally spending time to make sure that your business is registered, waiting for you to catch up with everyone else, making sure that your business is registered with IRS, taking the time to, on giving you different sources to register your business phone number. Like for me, another mistake I made, I had 2 cell phones, and I said, okay, one of these is my business line first I started with a Google Voice. Then I said, okay, I got another cell phone. Guess what? Having another cell phone, that doesn't work. You need to have a registered phone number. So there are different companies out there that you can register. And just making sure that your business is thoroughly registered, and helping you to build the foundation of credit. So if you're interested in any of that information, the importance of business credit, what is business credit bureaus, like even this, going through, because I wanted to see exactly what her company would do, like what were the things that businesses was missing. And another thing, so we actually did our business experience. And when I went in there, I was like, oh, great. Guess what? My business is showing up there. Well, guess what? My business was listed like 3 different times. And she said, that's good, but you need to go back and call and have all these other ones removed, and making sure that we, went into LexisNexis, making sure that, there's so many different things, but making sure that you're 100% intact. And I said, listen, if people came over and signed up for what we want to offer them, tell me, how long will it truly take for them to be able to get um, line of credits unsecured? And she said, Mona, if they follow the steps, they call me Mona, Coach Mona. If they follow the steps A through Z, and stay with us for 2 to 3 months, by 90 days, they're able to get lines of credit anywhere from $10 to $100,000. Now, remember, and another thing we cover is making sure that your business is in the right industry.
Right.
Because listen, people come in there and I'm like, babe, I'm sorry, we don't do gas stations. We don't do, like, there are some things that, just are hot off, that banks just don't do. Lending companies, alternative lending, they don't do. And not only do our program provide helping you get prepared, but we also offer other alternative lenders. And just like Monica mentioned, also micro lending is available. There's so many different avenues. So just wanted to put that out there. I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number. We are setting up a seminar for the last Thursday of September, and I want to get your email so that I can make sure that you get on that mailing list. So if someone could put in the chat, you can make it easy. You can just put Coach Mona, Mona, Coach Mona. And my telephone number is 954-599-7316. You could text me and say, can you just, say info, business credit info. And so I'll go ahead and give you a call, and make sure that you get the information, and see, we can have a chat, and put you on a schedule your appointment, send you a link for a schedule appointment, and get you the information that you would like.
Hey, Coach Mona, there's a question in the fake chat. Is this your fake Google Voice number, or is this your real register?
Guess what? You dial that number and I am going to pick up this.
Okay,
That's
all right.
directly to me.
Okay, see, you gotta be right. You gotta be right.
Nothing.
And guess what? That's a key thing that somebody said that, because when we're verifying information, either it's the SBA or a bank, we could really determine what people have now. So if you started your company off as something else long time ago and you forgot to change it, you need to make sure you keep your things updated. And a lot of times we don't go back and update it. So make sure you go in and review your profile or your business entity, because you might have started off as a sole prop, then changed to LLC, and then an S corp. So you need to make sure all your codes. You might have started off selling cars, but you wanted to keep the same information, and now you're selling Delta paraphernalia, or you was a hair salon and you completely changed. And when they look up your information, it's going to show a hair salon and you don't have that information corrected, and they're just saying, okay, your things don't match. Believe me, these days we search. When I say they hire people with the SBA and PDC, and that's our processing center, to Google you. We Google to see what's actually out there. We look up,
Facebook, we go to your
we
Facebook.
go everywhere that we possibly can.
Yes.
So I promise you, uh have your things together and always update your information.
So
Update.
if I say I do web design, but you see lashes, is that going to raise a
Yeah, because
question?
I'm gonna be laughing in the
'Cause
background and
I-
saying, boy, this company trying to get a $2 million loan
for
for a lash
lashes and nails.
company.
Okay, All right. Well, thank you for that
Thank
information.
you.
Appreciate that. That is very insightful. And I like that phrase. I learned a word, bankable, because that's one word that says a whole lot about the status and the state of your business and where your head is and what trajectory you're headed on. So I love it.